One more loss by the Browns. They're eliminated. Ravens would love to be the one to serve it up. Kim Jones, take it away.
Thanks so much, Rich Eisen. And take a look at this. The Baltimore Ravens on Wednesday opened up a pop-up store in Baltimore for merchandise. Doors opened at 8 a.m. Fans started lining up at 4 a.m. And they had to limit the number of Lamar Jackson jerseys that each individual could buy because they wanted everyone to have a chance. Lamar Jackson has made quite an impact, obviously, on these Ravens, and it extends to the facility. There, he has become a leader, but I'm told a leader without an edge. And what do I mean by that? He's tried to get to know the first names of everyone in the facility, not just teammates and coaches, but maintenance worker, cafeteria worker, folks on the billing side, everyone, because Lamar Jackson wants to be able to greet all of them by their first name. Lamar Jackson is absolutely remarkable, and so is the Ravens defense. Right, Rich?
That's correct, and here's the numbers to support that particular point. And Marcus Peters, so much has been made, obviously, of Jalen Ramsey and how he's fared with the Rams, but the Rams traded Marcus Peters to the Ravens to make way for Ramsey, and the defense has been stout ever since that trade. And Peters is the only player, as you've seen on the left, with 2 pick sixes in the league since week 7. That's how we send things over to Mooch's Minute. You've got a sponsor, don't you, Steve?
I have a sponsor. It's sponsored by Gillette. And you know what? The Ravens lost in week 3 and 4 to the Chiefs and the Browns. The Browns put a 40 burger on these guys. Well, 10 wins in a row since, and I say it's largely due to this defense. Let's take a look at here. This is a smash combination like Seattle. 1 on the corner, 2 on the hitch, and inside here. Here's Marcus Peters right here, okay? Watch how he understands route progressions right here. So he'll back up, and he'll actually bait Russell Wilson into throwing that because he takes this away, and he's going to anticipate this throw, and it's a pick 6. Watch how fast he is. All right, there you go. He's got great anticipation. Now, they're going to show blitz. This defense likes the blitz. Ryan Finley says, hey, they're blitzing. I'm going to check to a quick throw. He knows he's going to throw a 3-step throw, and there's only one way to go, and that's probably out. Anticipate the quick throw, and why don't you just intercept this thing and go for another touchdown? He actually has 3 pick sixes this season. Now, this scheme, they're going to show cover 2. This is Jimmy Smith. He wasn't playing back then either, and now they added Marcus Peters. They traded in week 7, and it's a double cat blitz. Both corners are coming off the edge here. And Gurley will pick up 1, but here comes Jimmy scot-free. Bam! It's a sack. This defense, man, has been playing off the charts. And today against the Browns, they are in much better shape. Then you add Marlon Humphrey, who was a Pro Bowler in that secondary, and Earl Thomas. This might be the best secondary in the National Football League. Ravens and Browns is going to be a great revenge game. Now let me send it over to Tom Pelissero in East Rutherford.
Well, Mooch, Steelers coach Mike Tomlin says he anticipates Devlin Hodges rising to the challenge after the rookie quarterback threw 4 interceptions in last week's loss to Buffalo. Of course, Tomlin also gave Mason Rudolph a chance to rebound from his 4-pick game in Cleveland and then benched Rudolph just after halftime the following week. I am told Rudolph was heavily involved in the game planning this week. He's continued to get reps in practice, and there is a sense it's a short leash on Hodges if his struggles continue today against the Steelers' old friend Le'Veon Bell and the Jets. One boost for this Pittsburgh offense, wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster expected to play for the first time since November 14th, though Juju says his knee is still not 100%. He'll be playing through some pain. Here's Tiffany Blackman in Nashville.
Tom, Drew Brees set a few more records on Monday night. Today could be Michael Thomas's turn. He's 11 catches away from setting an NFL record for most catches in a season. 11 sounds like a lot in a game, but Thomas has already done that 5 times this year, and he's going up against a Titans defense that is ranked 25th when it comes to defending the pass. Now, Thomas's former teammate, Titans safety Kenny Vaccaro, he said, I've never met somebody as determined as Michael Thomas. And when I spoke with fellow safety Kevin Byard about defending Thomas at the line of scrimmage, he told me that Thomas is really strong in his routes. People say you want to get up in his face, but that's easier said than done. He said he's got really good release off the line of scrimmage. Rich?
Big game for the Titans, obviously for the Saints, too, who still have some designs on being the 1 seed, and that's how we kick off our pick six with Cynthia Freeland. Who do you have in this game?
I have a 4-point win for the Saints. It was a little bit closer until no Derrick Henry, and then it got to be a 4-point win. I have a nice projection for Drew Brees, 309 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, will Michael Thomas have 11 receptions? I'm not so sure about that, but I think at least 9 for sure.
Well, that would put him right on the precipice of the
It's gonna
all-time
happen.
mark. Yeah. For sure.
Happen.
Okay, now the Seahawks designs on trying to get that 1 seed back with a win, which they would, and you say they're going to get it against Arizona.
29-20. I think you should put Chris Carson as your number 1 running back in your number 1 slot for fantasy. If you need to win, he's my running back 3 overall for the entire week, 104 scrimmage yards, 3 receptions, and a touchdown.
Okay, now the 6 seed cannot be clinched in the AFC regardless of the results this weekend. And however, Pittsburgh could go into the final week of the season being in that spot, and you say they will.
I do. 21-17 win over the Jets. I think the James Conner, 91 scrimmage yards and a touchdown, 3 receptions. He's running back number 11. So even though the Jets are good against the run, I still think fully playable for your fantasy championship.
All right, the first overall pick on the line, Dolphins-Bengals. What do you have for us in this one?
One of 2 coin flips in my model, as in like 51% of simulations. Super convincing win by the Dolphins, 24-23. Patrick Laird, a good fantasy option here, 81 scrimmage yards projected, 3 receptions, and the touchdown. That makes him running back 19.
Boy, you're deep diving right there with
Deep
Patrick
dive.
Laird. Giants and Redskins, and you've got...
The other coin flip, 21-20 in this one. The difference maker, Saquon Barkley, 122 scrimmage yards, a touchdown, and 3 receptions. That's good for running back number 2.
Okay, and lastly, the Sunday night game on NBC in chilly Chicago. You have the...
Not a coin flip,
right.
26-19. Patrick Mahomes, my quarterback number 5, despite this defense being really stingy. 273 passing yards and 2 touchdowns projected for Mahomes.
Okay, that's pick 6 right here. Cynthia Freeland will be joining us later on again here on NFL Game Day Morning. And as if it's not tough enough in Chicago with some fans turning on Mitchell Trubisky, who's coming into town tonight, but the quarterback that the Bears could have had. Instead, they traded up for Trubisky, allowing the Chiefs to trade up for Mahomes. Later on, the Texans traded up for Deshaun Watson. And as you can see, that is that in terms of the statistics going into tonight and sending things over to Football 101.
All right, a little Football 101. Mooch's Minute, they talk defense. We don't talk defense in 101. We talk offense.
That's the best part of the game.
And I always love when I look at schemes around the league and certain teams do unique things that really separate them. And Andy Reid is one of the best in the business at creating things offensively and finding mismatches. We'll take a look at here. They do this better than anybody, what we call a quads formation. 4 guys on one side of the field. If you leave one-on-one on the backside, we're going to put Travis Kelce over there because
stop it.
he is a matchup problem for everybody. Okay, we got it again. You're going to overload. This time we're going to run our backside. Now we're going to use our speed guy. Look at all this space. Everybody's covering the 4 receiver side. All kinds of space for Sammy Watkins right there.
Oh my
they got all kinds of speed guys. Okay, we're not going to over-rotate now. We're not going to leave one-on-one on the backside. Well, now you're going to be outnumbered on the front side. Well, this guy's going to go cover the flat, and that guy's going to play zone. And middle safety's going to cover the middle. Oh, wait. What about that guy? What about number 4 with all the speed running wide open down the field? I love watching them. They do a great job of creating those matchups, and they've got the guys to do it. Kelce, we saw Watkins there.
Right.
Tyreek Hill is obviously a difference maker as well.
Right, man. And that's great, man, seeing a quad set. But they also have the ability, Kurt, to do this right here. Let me tell you something. When I was watching the receivers, 100 receivers, I was listening to Randy Moss talk to the same thing with Bill Belichick. I was crying and learning at the same time. Did you see that right there when Randy talked about, hey, why should I go to that post? Why can't I turn that ball back? And that kind of speed right there, Tyreek Hill, he gets up on the corner, passes right by the corner, the safety's waiting, and he goes back to the corner of the end zone and get a touchdown. It's unstoppable.
Well, it is with all those formations and what they do. And then, like you said, I don't know if there's not a team faster than this in the entire NFL. They get speed everywhere, and it's why they're so explosive, and they're getting hot at the right time.
At the right time.
I understand we got a message from one of Santa's little helpers.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What the helper?
Good morning, wake up, wake. Good morning, wake up, wake. Wake up, wake.
Warner, touchdown Rams. Michael Irvin makes a great catch. He looked real good, doesn't he?
Good morning, wake up, wake. Good morning, wake up, wake. She says good morning, wake up, wake. Wake up.
Bud Light crisp arrival starts with Baker Mayfield. Can the Browns make a push, finish at 500? Or can the Ravens push the Browns deeper into the abyss? Big game today in Cleveland, Steve.
There's Adam Gase. I don't know if he's drinking coffee or dipping or what. Hey, Adam Gase, ready for duty with the Jets.
Wow.
There's the all-time leader in touchdown passes in the history of the NFL. He's going to try to widen that gap today.
Speaking of all time, this is the man that's about to become the one with the most receptions in a single season. Only 11 to break that mark.
Punters are Bud Light crisp arrival worthy, too, especially when you're the Scottish Hammer, Jamie Gillan, arriving in a kilt. A tartan Christmas.
Wow.
It's a tartan Christmas, Charlie Brown.
That's a skirt.
For all the excitement of Christmas, there are many, many fans who are feeling down because their team won't be in the playoffs. Never fear. Our very own Dave Damashek took a trip to the North Pole to see about gifts for fan bases in desperate need of some holiday cheer.
Happy holidays and almost postseason's greetings, football fans. I hate to be a Scrooge, but the 2019 NFL regular season is almost a wrap. Sad, I know. And while 12 fan bases are rightly getting excited for January, I don't want any fans left out in the cold just because their team gave them a lump of coal in the win column this year. So I've come to the North Pole to see if we can't give these fans the gift of a new team for this postseason. So maybe this guy can help us out. Santa Baby. What about the Chicago Bears? What a disappointing year it was for their fans. Do you have anything in your sack of gifts there that could help their fans out? What? The Texans and Chiefs, I don't think... Oh, because they should have taken either Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes, and this way they can pretend that one of those guys is their quarterback.
Just welcome again to the Magic Show.
Very thoughtful, Santa. Now let's talk about fans of the Browns, who so many people thought were destined to make a deep playoff run this year before the season even got going. Do you have something in your sack to help them out?
No.
Where did you even come from, Mrs. Clark? Are you saying that even though it's not in the spirit of the holidays, the Clevelanders are well within their rights to root against the Ravens, who are chasing their third Lombardi since they ditched Cleveland?
Yes.
I gotta say, you're tough but fair, Mrs. Claus. Santa, it's been a tough year for teams with horse mascots. Is there anything you can do to help out the Colts and Broncos fans? The Cowboys? Oh, because Cowboys ride horses. I get it. You know what I don't get, though? The Cowboys are 7-7. That can't be good enough to get into the playoffs, can it?
Touchdown, Elliott!
Or is that one of those Christmas miracles I'm always hearing about? Well, thank you, Santa, and you too, Mrs. Claus. I think you've both made this a more festive postseason for football fans out there.
Merry Christmas!
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, everybody! What's the matter with you? Merry Christmas, everybody! Santa Mooch came all the way from the North Pole by myself this year, no elves, to give you guys some presents. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Mr. Warner,
I love
you
presents.
came all the way from the Northeast, huh?
I did.
Huh? And from Tampa over there, you guys, but not as far as the North Pole, I'll tell you that.
Come on.
Well, I've got some presents for you. Sit on my lap. On Santa's lap. Mr. Warner, huh? You know what? When Santa watches the show with Mrs. Claus Mooch up there in the North Pole, we noticed that Coach Mariucci's been really mean to you this year, trying to break all your records, huh?
He's been really mean.
He's been really naughty, all right?
naughty,
But you know what? Santa, I swallowed some snow. Santa is going to be extra special nice to you, Kurt, because he feels sorry for you, okay? Yeah. All right, let's take a look. Roll tape.
They used to call me Houdini because I was a mobile quarterback, that I could move and I could get out of anything. we got a, oh my God, we have Houdini. This is Houdini right here. Look at this now. Let's see this magic. Jump. Let's see this magic. Over him. Oh, disappear.
Oh, boy.
Oh, wow. You know, Santa was going to get you a new sweater because he saw that one you were wearing yesterday. Well, we got you something else. Houdini right here. All right. Yeah, you're the Houdini, right?
What do we got here?
Don't litter. Oh, look at that. What do we got?
It's the Great Houdini magic
The Great
set.
Houdini. So you can go
great.
home with Brenda and play the Great Houdini magic set.
See, they already got my picture on it.
Look at that.
Thank you.
Kurt, you've been such a good boy.
Thanks, Santa Mooch.
I love you.
Thanks,
All
Santa
right.
Mooch.
Get off my lap. Okay. Michael. Michael. Sit down. Michael, I have one question. Have you been naughty or nice this
I've
year?
been nice.
You've been nice this year? Anybody believe that? No. Okay. But you know what? It's been a rough year for Michael Irvin, right? With your Cowboys.
It's been a hard one.
Hard year, but you know what? I thought you handled it pretty well, you know? Okay. Let's take a look.
Ready to get some autographs for my Cowboys because they will be right here in the Super Bowl.
What a horrible effort. This team is just desperate for a win. This is a big loss.
Losing. We've got to win a football game.
I just want to give you a hug.
I've been going through these 5 stages of grief here. You know, I got denial, I had anger, bargaining, and I've tweeted about my depression, and now I'm just accepting it.
Accepting it. You're accepting it, Michael. Well, this is for you. Accept this.
I appreciate this, Santa.
Yeah.
What do you
So
got
I
here?
never really got any gifts, man. When I grew up, there were too many of us in the house.
Oh, is that a crying emoji?
Oh, that is brilliant.
Will you wear that?
Can I get one of those?
That ridiculous sweater?
Please get me one of those, Santa.
Thank you, Santa.
Oh,
You're welcome, Michael.
that is brilliant.
I just don't want to cry today.
Quit your crying, Michael. Oh, that is brilliant.
Richard.
I think Stephen A. Smith wants one of those, too.
Richard, come here. I got to talk to you about something.
Uh-oh, Mooch.
Because Santa, watching the show every week, sees you complaining. What kind of team member are you? You're complaining about locks of the week all the time. Come on, Kurt.
Don't go.
Let's go. Take a look. Roll tape.
Everyone's going to tell you the Patriots are going to beat the Bengals. Like, no, never. Come on. And Mooch chooses based on the food he wants to eat. Well, I have earned the right to tell you this segment stinks. The whole thing is just a ridiculous endeavor. It insults me as a professional. You've learned nothing. I've got to continue finishing up this useless segment of television. We're teaching our viewers nothing. This segment stinks.
Not many. Okay. Hey, Rich, this segment doesn't stink.
It does.
Maybe there's food in here.
I don't know, Mooch. Oh, my gosh. That's what we got here.
Quit your complaining, okay?